ITB to prioritize what the play was. We're not going to get overshield. What do we do to try and counteract that? We play for the green gun, we play for the plasma pistol, and essentially we try and play for that trade. They get more than that in that situation, and they still have a 4-kill advantage off the back of it. However, a couple of players are going to fall here for ITB, and this is an opportunity for Shopify Rebellion to find a little bit of a foothold and start to close that gap.
2 were dead there momentarily for Shopify as well. Cycle's going to have to rotate and see what's going on with the squad. A few shots exchanged, but you got to think on the Shopify side of the stage, they're thinking, already lost that game number 1, down by 5, almost at the midpoint of this game number 2. They need to find a way to ice up here and focus.
Soulsnipe taking down a no shields. One thing I will say about the Bandit change you'll notice is that 5th shot, that headshot. Sometimes you'll see a couple of players just, it's almost like you have a few too many seconds to think about it, and you could miss that shot, and that can cost you. Mighty's flies in, not going to be able to get the kill himself, as Chick will get stuck on his way forward. Now he has to try and survive. Going to get no damage in that beatdown though. However, ITB will keep that advantage on their side. Now 5 kills is their lead as we approach the halfway point of this game.
Got to mention it as well. Early on, Chick was not on the board in a big way. I believe he was 1-3. Guess what? He just tracked a killing spree, and they're up by 6 right now. Chick, a huge part of this last rally.
Really, really impressive, and he comes off the back of that survivability, right? We saw that life from him. Staying alive, we always talk about it. And what you can do off the back of an extra life, essentially, you can get by not over-challenging, by not being taken down. And that's exactly what we do see. Now, Mental finds an overshield again here. There's 3 in a row for Shopify Rebellion. And they're starting to just claw their way back into this game. About a third left on that overshield. Chick going to be challenging himself. He's poking. He's looking for that trade. He's not going to get it, but there's the trade in the kill feed. Shopify Rebellion again with the overshield, not doing a huge amount.
Look at that counter once again. They forced a gen play there, and amazing damage that came out from Chick to almost get the trade himself, but in the end, he actually gets enough damage where they pinch the overshield from both mid-gen and high-gen. They essentially shut it down again, and they maintain that 4-kill lead. And if they continue this pace, they will close this one out comfortably, but still a lot of game here yet to play.
One thing you will notice is the pace of this game, the Aquarius Slayer, in comparison to what we've seen essentially throughout the rest of the season. The speed at which you can collapse, the Bandit speed to kill, time to kill, excuse me, being a little bit longer means those collapses, those snowballs don't seem to be in effect quite as much in this game in particular. Another trade coming in the feed at the moment, however, it's going to be ITB who find themselves down numbers. 2 kills now the difference, and to lead for this long in the game, and then find that lead start to slip away, you can get very nervous in those final moments. So ITB, this is a big moment in the game for them.
Really big moment, as you said. Just right now, only a 3-kill game. Also worth mentioning that, let's not forget, Shopify was down 19-12, and they've now brought this game back within 3. It's a big comeback, but still a little bit of time left on the clock here.
Ping Tower now bring it back within 1, and Soulsnipe with a double ties this game up at 37.
Wow. Here we are.
Find one, player gets cleaned out the back of the base as well, and it will be Shopify Rebellion who go into a lead by 2, and still with 2/3 of that overshield. Mental looking to extend it even more. This is the business end of the game here for both teams, and Shopify Rebellion are showing a bit of experience and just that ice they need.
Really well done there by Mental. In the end, he doesn't get the car 3 clamber, but instead just puts his gen here. That's going to give a nice sizable lead for them by 4 at the 43 mark, and this could be heartbreaking for ITB.
Don't get many opportunities to win a Slayer against a team like Shopify Rebellion. We talked about their records, and ITB, they've had that chance. Now, are they going to be able to clutch up? Are they going to be able to somehow find a way back into this game? It's a 5-kill, make it 4-kill advantage. Goes back to 5, though, as inside of this base cycle, trying to put some pressure down. Mighty's trying to stay alive, manages to do so valuable at this point in the game.
That's huge, and they pick up another one as well. 48, though, on the board here. Only 2 more kills to go for the side of Shopify. No room for error for ITB.
Let me slow this down.
Wutum's going to find one. Wutum's going to be re-challenging here onto Soulsnipe to break his shields as well. Well, like you mentioned, the bigger picture here is for ITB, it's only 2 deaths to play with.
And another overshoot.
Loading wale, buffering wale, da kani aga full shi nodri ginu biya laga, zai pri ginu biya rawan shi.
Look at Soulsnipe's positioning and how he is being a little bit more wary of the positions he finds himself in.
Quadrant host kade the.
To be trapped in the gen, we'll find another one. Thrust in the hands of ITB as well, and all of a sudden it's a 2-kill game here.
Can you imagine?
Jimbo gets a trade in the base. That's going to be 1 more to go here. Soulsnipe finds that 50th kill, and the comeback is complete for Shopify Rebellion. They tie the series up at 1-1 with a win here on Aquarius Slayer.
Man, what can you even say? ITB gives up 4 overshields, and guess what? It's the 4th one that's the final dagger. You might be able to get away with giving up 3 and having to trade. But I'll tell you right now, you're not going to win a lot of games giving up 100% of power-ups. And honestly, it seems terribly fitting for ITB to lose that game because you need to focus up on those power-ups. Yeah, you might be able to neutralize the way that you did throughout the majority of the game, but I'm sorry, if you're going to give up 4 straight, you don't deserve to win the game.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's just unacceptable to be at least not getting 1. You know, if you want to, and we mentioned the Slayer record, we're going to keep talking about it because it's just extending now. Shopify Rebellion are an incredible Slayer team, and if you allow them extra power on a map, they're going to win the game. It's as simple as that. I mean, it's very easy to pinpoint where that went wrong, right? I mean, the biggest one for me, I think it was the 3rd
they're
overshield.
up by 6 right now.
ITB seemed to be picking up a couple of kills, but still didn't manage to get control of that overshield. And I don't know if that was because they became too
huge part of this last round.
On a couple of players who really impressive. He comes off the back. If it was they were just unfortunately not in the position top middle where they were in control and had an access point to that overshield. Whatever it was, it needs to be addressed because you can't allow that to happen.
It really does, and I think also the specific things. Take a look at some highlights from that game. The specific part of this last round, troubling
really impressive. He comes off the back.
Did so well to neutralize each of the overshields earlier on. However, guess what? Being mental with a little bit of overshield left, still pushing in your flag and just mopping up your team.
Hamza, can you hear me?
Also, you might get away with take a look at highlights from that game. The specific part of this last round, troubling.
Really impressive. He comes off the back.
Did so well to neutralize each of the
Can you hear me, Hamza?
watched enough competitive Halo, when you watch a game like this, you're thinking to yourself, it's too close. Here's the overshield push that we talked about in the end that gave them the 5-kill lead. It's too close, it's not comfortable, and you always felt like Shopify was still in this, even when they were down by 5 or more.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it was an interesting game when you talk about the overshield, right? Because ITB kept it close, but it was just, there's only so many times you can get away with it, it felt like, to be honest with you. And having got away with it for so long, it was just a case of one of these is going to hurt us. Yeah. And one of them did hurt them. And then even in the final moments, ITB did a really good job of holding the line. Made it a little bit closer. We were like, they've only got 2 deaths. ITB seemed like they knew that as well when they were playing around that and waiting for Shopify to fall into that trap a little bit. But what else do you want us to say? You need to get overshields. You need to contest those overshields if you want to be successful in those games.
Yeah, really tough loss there. To be honest, I think on the ITB side, they're going to be thinking about just a few things that could have gone differently. You can't let a team, first of all, grab every overshield on you, like you said, but also even just to let, you need to make sure in the end, they had, like you said, such composure on those gen pushes. They were like baiting and switching perfectly. They got about 4 kills while Shopify was right around the 47-48 mark. But you can't let a team like Shopify get on to 48 kills. It's just too little too late for them in the end. They need to dust that one off, though, and get ready for King of the Hill recharge, because even though we were moments away from what could have been a 2-0 lead here, now we're tied up 1-1. And we are, as we said earlier, in the business end of this series now, and all tied up, everything to play for, and now momentum certainly firmly in the side of Shopify after that comeback win.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, and I think now moving on to King of the Hill, which I'm very
Yo, is it working?
the pace of the game adjusts thanks to the bandit change that we have seen.
Okay, I hope the stream is live. I don't know what the quality's like, but it's my first time.
Surviving from a push, but as long as they get those first 2, then they'll be able to allow the players to respawn and hold the map a little bit more than pushing in to try and get that squad right that we.
Hello? Hello?
Looking at the Slayers, no surprise.
What are you talking about, Hamza? Is the game sound or me?
We have trouble with that kind of stuff all the time.
Which one? The stream or me? The microphone?
Phonetically, I think, yeah. I think that's what we would call it. Luckily, we're going to focus on the
I think the game, right?
instead of any type of linguistics.
I mean the stream.
For the rest of the show, and that's a promise you have from us.
What about now?
Supplementing your screen there, just I think the way that this player
Should be
has
a
shown
little
up, the way
better,
this
I
team
think.
has shown up, it's a huge win. And like I said, it'd be one thing if Shopify just came back into game 2 and steamrolled in terms of momentum, what we would see here. Instead, once again, trailing 19-12 early on to come back with a last-second steal
How's
out
the
from
sound?
under you win, I think gives Shopify Rebellion even more momentum here. ITB is going to have to find a way to really ice up, lean forward, and get back into this series because I think Shopify is going to look the strongest that they have in this game number 3, and they're probably going to show no signs of slowing.
And of course, then we move on to Strongholds as game number 4, which we will see in this series. Live fire Strongholds, I think that's going to be the game type probably that's most effective.
Am I getting
for the
drops?
slowing of the bandit rate of fire, because now we're not going to see those floods. Maybe there's going to be a little bit more of a 2-cap hold. It's going to be interesting to see how that does develop, but before we get there, of course, we have to decide who's going to go ahead.
Yay, boy!
ITB and Shopify. How do you think it's going to play?
Okay.
It's interesting, right? King of the Hill.
Yeah, this one,
Okay.
I agree. Very
I did
interesting.
fix it, Hamza.
I think right
I
now
think I
Shopify's
did
gonna
fix
come out
it.
absolutely just firing on all cylinders, and they're going to be really tough to keep pace with based off of
I
what we
don't
just saw towards the
know.
end of that
The
game.
sound is
Really
fixed,
impressed
but
with the composure from Shopify because, like we said, not only were they trailing by 7 early on,
Okay.
they were trailing by 4 or 5.
What
for
about
the
my
majority of the
microphone?
game. But instead to just play their game, have that dominant of control and continue trailing, just shows a lot about their endurance, their confidence. And if they bring that and more into this game number 3, I think we could certainly see them take it.
I think I need to turn on the
Because ITB
webcam
seems
too, but
in
I
pretty
can't
good spirits.
figure. I mean, I just
will
can't
say.
now.
And
I don't know.
as crazy as it sounds, like a loss is a loss. It always hurts. But when you're going up against a team who has so much success in those Slayers that you've played previously, and even though new meta, you know, I'm going to keep highlighting that.
Xbox Watch Party
much
तरह से
different
हमसे
result when those two teams met up back in London. I think it was a 50-39. If I wasn't
Come
mistaken.
to the
and I'm pretty sure it
Xbox
was a
Watch
game 5
Party, bro.
that hurt them. So to keep it within a few and show that you can hang with one of the best Slayers teams,
Exactly.
there's always positives to take from that.
There really is, and if you're on the ITB side right now, and I have a feeling this might be in their comms, but I think that you do have to take that takeaway.
4G
I
on
don't think
गया
it's
ना?
just rose-colored glasses. I think you could say, guys, we essentially almost beat them with horrendous overshield
Drops
control
Khadi,
and
Mara, I
0%
like the
overshield
skin.
control. So let's make sure we're just focusing up on
I
the
like the
grabs that
skin
we
a
need.
lot.
We're timing our kills, because keep
Check
in mind,
this out.
when you're leading by either 5 or 7, you should be getting some overshield.
Trophy,
So I think as long as they continue to play their
magma,
slaying
vent,
game and their map
weapon
control
coding.
game,
We
they've got a
have
good
ivory guard
opportunity to make sure
weapon,
they stay in
armor.
the
I
lead
mean
here. So there's definitely, as you said, positive
the armor
takeaways
coding.
for the side of ITB. We're gonna have to see if they can
I mean, I don't mind it, bro. It's free. If it's free, it's free. You
take
know.
that into the game.
I was just looking across the stats there of the last game as well. There was no standout performance really on either team. No disappointing performance, no standout. It was like 1 or 2 kills.
I like the
Mighties
drops.
and Suppress kind of
kinda
leading,
like-
but also pretty high
so I
depth
think
as well.
Suppress had the same amount of depth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody really being an outstanding candidate for the player who won that last game. It was the Overshield certainly that was the outstanding candidate as to what caused Shopify Rebellion to find themselves now tied up in this series as we head into map number 3. Time for a little bit of King of the Hill.
Underway now, tied 1-1. It's a great way to start off your day number 1 here at the HCS Salt Lake
I don't
City
have a
Major. We thank you
Twitch
for hanging out with us, whether you're in the
account.
building or
I
joining
mean, I
us
do have a
online.
Twitch
It's
account,
been a
but
fantastic start to the day, all tied up here 1-1 in game
I've been
number 3,
uploading on
Shopify versus
YouTube.
ITB.
And I mean,
Overshield is
that's
still down. You can
what
see
I
that Wooten was
use
just waiting and
primarily.
waiting
So
and hoping
doesn't make sense for me to go
that
to
someone was
Twitch.
going to find that, and it is going to be
And I'm
picked
just
up
checking
here. The
things
camera
out, see
finds
if
its
it
way
works.
into the body of Chick, so it's going to be ITB who win the scrap for the first power-up. However, at the moment, nobody really with a numerical advantage, is the only thing that's happened in the last few seconds away from this is a trade between a couple of players. However, a shock rifle is certainly going to make that a little bit more likely that things are going to change, and Chick finds himself the first face of the game.
I think as everyone saw Chick with the camo heading towards glass, there was one reason you're heading there. It's because the shock was down and he's already putting it to use as well. And some progress on the board. All eyes on the tower. We're going to have to be really selective with his angles here. Might find a team shot if he's not careful. There it is.
A couple of nades come in that flood him out the position. The shots coming in from the bandit is going to clean it up, but the tower push was solid coming in from Shopify Rebellion, and off the back of cleaning out the hill, taking down Chick, ITB now find themselves all in the death screen. So about a third of the progress on that hill went the way of ITB, but it's Shopify Rebellion now with full control of the map.
Answering right back, ITB still leading, by the way, in slays. So progress on the board, and there were kills on the board as well, as they will now go 9-8.
I think the stream isn't that good. I don't know, it's not
They find themselves 3 down.
because of my
Mighty's
internet.
down again. That's a back-to-back 4 dead, and a devastating comeback yet again here on the first hill. All the progress has essentially been wiped, and Shopify looking to close out this hill. One more push for ITB right now.
Yeah, Cycle gets the first pick as well. Chick will fall,
Shopify's
Wooten falls
doing
as well.
pretty
There's a late
good.
contest going down, but Suppressed with a double kill not only keeps his teammate alive, but surely in the next few moments will secure that first hill going over to the side of Shopify Rebellion. And look at this rotate as well. They not only get that first point, but they're already set up for the next.
Also a shroud on the camo. This should be a clean grab here for Suppressed. He's going to be able to do that and run back to cover before he pops. Can he stay alive? He does. Somehow that nade does not do enough damage to take him down. So in the end, he'll get away with camo as well. And right now he can wait and bait and do all sorts of damage here at Hydro.
Suppressed. Having a little bit of fun here with this camo. Lots of players from ITB walking into his reticle, having no idea of his position. And it's just comfortable kills for him. Chick's going to be the next one to fall as well. And this camo really has been devastating. A double kill here for Suppress. Cycle finds another one as well. And
मुझे
finally,
पर
after
Twitch
those
strike
kills,
up जमा 4G man YouTube ने चली हाँ
It'll be
पता ना
Shopify
वाले
who steps into
some
that hill
slow
for
दे
some time.
वो तो सोरे शाते हैं और loading का यार same
Picking up all those kills, they might have had time to jump in, but instead they finally jump in. To be honest, not as much progress as you might have suspected, but certainly one thing that has changed is Shopify is now outslaying 21-12.
That shock rifle going to be even more effective, I feel, this event as well. With that slowdown on the rate of fire of the Bandit. Just having a little bit more time to pace that shot between the bursts coming in from your opponent. And ITB Esports in the moment are finding themselves with a rough situation to try and break out of. It's 3 dead for them. It's going to be surely in the next few moments 2-0 for Shopify Rebellion, and it's about go next for ITB. Try and play for that next hill because you are not getting close to this one.
I think they're going to wait and bait. Look at this. Cheeky waiting and baiting, not getting the last tick. They know there's essentially zero risk in just burning this clock, and this is some very tactical play here coming in from Shopify. They're fine with it. Eventually they'll probably clean this one out and try to get the clear, but they are just playing with their food at this point.
3 dead on the side of Shopify. Didn't get the point. Now. Just saying, I'm just saying.
No.
Right? Okay, fair enough. 2 dead for
Wait.
Shopify, this could happen.
Are you worried?
Yes,
You're worried?
I'm worried.
All right, I'm excited to see how this plays out. Let's see if they can hold. It's going to have to be the strongest Lord of the Rings-esque hold on this hill, and they might be able to do it. They're already halfway done. Will this bite Shopify in the butt? That's the question.
Ammo up as well. Wooten's going to have to do a little
Shopify
bit of work, though. We're sure the flight's starting to come
started
through. The kill does go
sleeping.
the way of Shopify Rebellion.
Now
Was
they're
waiting for
doing
the opportunity to dip their toes into the ocean.
on another
And yes,
level
indeed,
right
they
now.
dip their toes in, and my worries will be addressed. It's 2-0 now to Shopify Rebellion. ITB have to find a way back into this, and the camo might help them do so.
I'm not going to lie, I like that. You don't see a lot of that. Obviously, they got away with it because there was zero progress on the side of ITB, so Shopify could really take that risk. But look how much time they burned. They burned about 40 seconds off of the game clock there, and now they lead 2-0. I like the play from Shopify. They're looking good.
Over to the turbine then, and Chick won't be able to survive this time. He gets flushed out by a grenade. Suppressed will find another one as well. So a 2v2 momentarily turns into a 3v2 as Shopify will have the numbers as they try and force the final members of ITB out of that hill. Suppress waiting for the damage to come in to capitalize and add to his tally. Should be able to get another trade here, but doesn't even go down himself. It's a double kill for Suppressed. ITB 3 dead. And even though they managed to get half that hill captured, it's going to be Shopify with full control of the map again.
You and I had spoke about what was going to happen here in this
मैं
game number 3.
उसको
in
कहना
terms of just
YouTube के
speed
में
and
से
momentum,
वीडियो
and I think
करता
that's exactly what we
4G माने
expected.
खाने
The way that Shopify came
न
out,
लगे
they're
था
really taking that.
परुनुम ननुम
I think both the mental edge
मसला
and the
था
momentum
Twitch
from that
बिल्कुल
game
तेज
number 2
थी
come back and just absolutely running with it here. Still leading 2-0, 2:39 left, essentially tied up on this hill though.
2 dead for Shopify. Soul Snipe trying to wait, see if some shots can be hit. Manages to tag one, manages to tag him again. Soul Snipe now flies in, tries to snap onto Chick, but won't be able to do so. Chick finds himself momentarily as the last alive, but Wooten will rejoin him off of that respawn. And now it's about holding the line once again for Chick. He finds one himself, repositions to try and get those shields back. And with a shock rifle in his hands, he's got a chance to hit a shot here onto Soul Snipe and make this a little bit dicey.
Worth mentioning their mental getting that melee trade's absolutely huge to fly in here. However, it was still 2 dead for the side of Shopify and 1 spawner 2v2 on the map momentarily.
ITB showing a little bit of resilience here. Wooten flicking around the corners to find more damage that many players would not be able to get. But can they capitalize on that damage? Chick's still inside of that hill, and it will be ITB who answer back here. They will claim the turbine hill for themselves.
Got ourselves a game here now. Let's not forget, Shopify burning as much game clock as they did due to the confidence of being sure that they would secure that second hill is going to be a little bit of a factor here because there's only 2 minutes left on the clock. And that's not going to play to Shopify's favor. However, let's keep in mind, because we have a 2-1 game, still a lot of room here for ITB to make sure they get this second hill and send the game the distance.
One thing for ITB that might be a slight concern is how efficient the Shopify Rebellion were on that tunnel hill, which is this side of the map, a very similar position that will be held down and controlled for whoever wants to claim this hill themselves. But it's going to be ITB who seem to have an element of control around the blue at the moment. So Cycle is just playing his life at the moment. This is what he does so well, right? A lot of players might look to engage, might look to get that first pick, but he's waiting for the team beautifully. However, elsewhere on the map, ITB are saying you can have this position because we're going to pick up kills elsewhere.
2 fall shrouders down. Let's see the flood if they can get him off the sneaky. Ooh, right now they're holding it very, very well. Trades will come in. So in the end, Shopify actually kind of lives to tell the tale here. Wow, Cycle whips around the glass as well and will stay alive on glass as it was 2 dead. now players coming up off of Shopify Rebellion.
I mean, the crazy thing here is that ITB have been picking up kill. It's been 2-3 dead, but look at the progress on this hill.
Yeah.
There's always been someone from Shopify Rebellion in the vicinity with a line of sight onto that hill to make it so difficult for them to step in and claim any kind of time. So we're essentially tied up on this hill still, even though it's been ITB who have been picking up those slays.
And I got to point it out once again, you're so right, and it's been sneaky control. They've done it purely through long haul and sneaky control. It's been brilliant from Shopify, but once again, with now 60 seconds left on the clock, the burning of the time, 3 dead by the way for ITB, the burning of the time earlier is still a factor. Shopify is playing this game beautifully. 55 seconds left. So right, and it's been sneaky control.
We don't need
They've
to
done it
capture the
purely
hill,
through
we
long
need to
haul and
stop them
sneaky
being
control. It's
inside of it,
brilliant
and
from
ITB
Shopify. Once again, with
finding
now
a
60
very
seconds left on the
difficult
clock,
solution to
the
try and
burning
come
of
up
the
with
time,
it.
What is
by the way,
this?
for
On the
ITB,
mid-bridge,
the
though,
burning of the
after
time
they take
earlier
down one
is
player,
still
it's
a
going to create an
factor.
opportunity for them to
Shopify
get
is
across
playing
the
this
map.
game beautifully.
Camo gets picked up here by Wooten, but he'll be taken down almost immediately. So a burn of the camo for Shopify. And with only 40 seconds left on this game clock, Shopify again come up with it. You can see the game plan. They're not worried about stepping in this hill. It's about denying the time for ITB.
Was 3 dead for ITB. Spawners, though, on the long haul is going to give them a little bit of a second chance here at life. 35 seconds left. Game clock still running, though. They're not stepping in just yet. They need the slays, and they need them now. Only 30 seconds left.
Press with the first kill onto Mighties as well. That's going to make the push even more difficult towards this hill. And as the time starts to trickle through the fingers here of ITB Esports, it's only Jimbo who finds himself alive at the moment, but he'll fall as well. And this is looking like the final push for ITB. But even then, do they have the time to get in that hill?
One player pushing through Hydra right now. You have the feeling that player's not going to be the difference maker.
Time starts to dwindle down, and you can see Shopify is set up just to stop anyone from ITB stepping in that hill. 2 kills go their way. A desperate play at the end here from Jimbo. Wooten last alive, but he's not going to get the opportunity to get inside of that hill, and it will be Shopify Rebellion who play the clock masterfully in multiple situations to take a 2-1 win on Recharge King of the Hill.
It's a masterclass, as you say, from the side of Shopify Rebellion. That's one of the, I think, most tactical looks at that game type that we've seen all season. We've been waiting for teams to wait and bait the hill. It's such an advantageous and dangerous mechanic if you do that and you do it well. They knew that they had the cushion to make it happen, even on the main stage against a team like ITB. That burned, as we said earlier, 41 seconds off the clock. And guess what? When you win a game like that, only 2-1 with the game clock going to 0, that's a huge factor. As you said, they did it again with long haul and sneaky control. They did not need to jump in. It was great game clock management coming in from Shopify. They now take the series lead 2-1.
So from 1-0 down, they now find themselves 1 game away from claiming their first series of the tournament. And for ITB, some questions certainly to be answered. We'll take a look at some of the replays here. It was a good start for ITB, but
Full snipe, 17 and 12 in that game, and he led in assists, tied for 9. Just really, really big late game performance coming in from him to make sure he was a huge part of those holds.
this was the hill that did go the way of ITB. A lot of the work done inside and around that hill by Chick. But this is the time management that we were talking about, right? Mental just set up on the glass here. You can see 40 seconds left in the game for ITB to try and put a push together. But the frustrating thing for ITB is when you know you have to access
feels
that
like
hill,
Shopify is
you're kind of
winning.
running through and, you know, the time is making you think we've got to get to the hill, but then you're not checking a corner. Shopify have got so many options about how they want to pick up those kills that they can set traps, and ITB will inevitably have to fall into at least one.
Exactly, and you talk about the cushion
what is his hairstyle?
that time management created. They could just sit sneaky and long in the
I
most
love this guy's
obnoxious way
hairstyle
there.
right
They
now.
didn't even need to really look at the hill that much, because guess what? When you have players spawning gold, glass, and right around sneaky, and they're just continuing to hold down that
copying
area. ITB doesn't
Billy
have to just get
Mental?
Hydro. They don't just have to get plat. They need to clear out the sneaky and long and glass and then get in the hill. It was just never going to happen. A fantastic game in the end from Shopify. They lead now in the series 2-1. They also take the game 2-1. That sets us up for live Fire Strongholds as our game number 4.
That was the first game, as crazy as it sounds when you look at the stats and the scores, excuse me, of this series, that felt like it was controlled in the entirety by one of the teams. It was back and forth in game number 1. It went down, it was an example of great efficiency in flag runs coming in from ITB. Game number 2 was a comeback from Shopify Rebellion, but when it finishes at 50-47, you can see it's only a few kills separating the team. But that one, even though it says 2-1 on the scoreboard, feels like a different game.
Yeah.
It was a different game that was fully controlled by Shopify Rebellion. Now we move into Strongholds on Livefire, which historically has been probably the quickest of the game types that we've had when it comes to pace of play. When you factor in the bandit change, I wonder if it's going to be a new type of game type, and a lot of work would have had to be done by these teams to find a recipe for success.
I agree. There's so many specific battles on this exact game type that anyone who's played enough Ranked Infinite will immediately kind of think of. If you think of battles, for example, from right on your screen, here to Nest Bridge fighting into green, players pushing in from dummies, even battles that are going across top middle, the rate of fire change and the way that that impacts team shots is really going to change the way that players and teams move around this map. We'll see if Shopify can continue the momentum and close out the series here, or if ITB can stay alive and force us to a game number 5.
I also wonder if it's going to make the sniper rifle even more valuable. The ability to quick scope between those bullets coming in from the bandits is going to be certainly increased, and we've seen the reaction time and some of the crazy shots we've been seeing so far this season from everybody who's walked upon that main stage. So the sniper rifle control has always been important here on Live Fire. It almost feels like it becomes even more of a valuable resource, and it's going to be Mental who finds it first.
Shopify also picks up the first 3 kills off the opening scuffle. And as you said, Mental now going to look for his next target. Of course, all eyes on Camo here. Let's see if he can finds a body on Jim. Will they get the cleanup? They do, as you see in the feed. Maybe based on the timing, I would say they might even get this.
They already have a
the
2
power up as well.
BNC going to be the hold at the moment.
2-point setup.
Mighty's finds himself
Uh-oh, he's going to do it?
a little bit lighter than he was a few moments ago.
Almost.
Mental now just trapping all of these players at the back of green for ITB. A has been
So they want to go with like
so they will continue to score.
A and C, huh?
Suppressed with the camo in his hands at the moment. It's going to be difficult for ITB to fight their way back onto the map as Wutum is finding
Just
out
walked
himself.
into a nade.
Jeez, I mean, talk about power-up management this entire series.
Dude.
This has got to be so frustrating for the side of ITB.
Who's got a
It's so
camo? Suppress
impressive
has a camo?
from the side of Shopify Rebellion.
Damn,
25-0 off the opening.
Yeah, really important kill though from Jim. You saw he got the kill onto the camo.
Okay, they have a
and
2-cap
manages to
setup
just
right now.
about get the conversion onto A.
They don't have
And
any-
even though Shopify now step into
Nah,
it, we'll be
they're
able to
gonna
flip it
lose it.
back over. It creates a little bit of a timing window now for the rest of ITB to get back on the map. So big kill from Jimbo. Will there be a knock-on effect from it? Was suppressed with his kill in the feed, though. It looks like the answer
Damn.
will be no. Shopify Rebellion continue to slay here.
These
Very
guys
nice
are
from
a
Cycle. He
unit,
does
bro.
even more damage. And once the shields come back, you can bet he's going to jump back in for more. 42-0 off of the opening and should comfortably get this kill.
Damn.
Very, very nicely to avoid any sort of melee distance
Cycle.
there and wins the battle of back green. By the way, Shopify is outslaying 16-7.
ITB yet to get a point on the board here, 43-0, and it will continue to go the way of Shopify Rebellion, as now they will have a BC hold on the map, control of both the stronghold in front of Cycle that you can see right now and the tower side. Such a difficult situation to break out of, but Mighty checks his corners. However, he's got to check himself because Cycle hits the 5.
Really, really nicely done. Oh, finally gets taken down. You think maybe he had an extra second there. It was momentary 3 dead for both sides. It was a 1v1. Chick is going to be the player who flies into back green.
Oh, he's
to
got
try
the
to
new
flip
model.
this one and maybe get some
Bandit.
points on the board.
Yeah, based upon the respawns
Who's
here,
that
it's
Chick?
interesting to see how this 1v1 kind of panned out, and you can see the Chick essentially had quickest access to a stronghold, so plays for B will get them scoring now for the first time in this game. Whereas the respawn for Shopify was at a home base where they were already in control, which means they weren't able to defend and had to kind of let this one go. 2 kills go the way of ITB. Shopify Rebellion for the first time in this game find themselves on the back foot, not just in numbers, but in the fact that they will not be scoring.
Mighty's, by the way, just clocked his first kill of the game, and I will say, credit to him, he does lead the team in assists, so he's been shooting, but it's a big concern because he has been the leader, of course, slaying in so many of these games. And now to only have 1 kill on the board at this stage, I think you're going to need to see a big push from him if ITB is to get back into this game.
Chick trying to play his life at the moment. He knows that sniper rifle's up, but he's not going to be able to grab it. And it's going to be Cycle who is now the beneficiary of that. Maybe a little bit of a misstep coming in from Chick as he maybe thought about grabbing it, maybe thought about surviving, maybe got caught in 2 minds about exactly what he wanted to do in the situation, but off the back of the decisions and the plays that just happened, now Cycle could go to work. It's BC, which is the hold here for Shopify Rebellion, and they're about to cross the 100-point mark.
3 dead. This is going to be your 4th kill on the window if they pick that one up as well.
What is that,
Cycle
dude?
should be able to just pop in, either get the kill or the finish on the reset. We'll go ahead and looks like be able to do that. Pressure probably going to still come in from window, but he times it very well and gets a little bit dicey there, but decides to just go for the flashy play. Hits the no-scope to get sort of a bull true on the melee almost. During the scuffle, ITB will get a little bit more points on the board, but not too much that Shopify is going to worry about. It's still 88-32.
Oh my, Cycle just snaps with the bandit after the body shot. ITB find themselves 2 dead. Big kill going down here. Can't survive it. It's going to be a double push coming in from ITB. Not just to defend B, but to keep themselves scoring for just a few seconds. First time we're seeing Shopify Rebellion start to be trapped on a respawn here. You can see they're just spawning in and around the dummies. The kills are starting to line up here for ITB, and A and B will be the hold off the back of it.
See if they can make something happen. Still being heavily outslayed and outscored, but 2 will fall for the side of ITB momentarily, so they're going to have to work even harder off the respawn. Wutum trying to do everything he can at C.
It's Cycle who gets that double kill as well, right? I mentioned how it felt like ITB starting to get an element of control, forcing Shopify onto a respawn, but Cycle just breaks through that. Finds 2 kills, one after the other, immediately creating space for them to get back on the map, flip one of these strongholds over, and that's exactly what they have done. A and B in their control for now, but as they go for C, keep your eyes on the bottom of your screen on where those strongholds are moving, because it's ITB who are inside of not just 1, but 2.
Mighty's once again the only player alive. Gonna have to wait for his teammates here. 107 now to 48. It's really been a continuation of what we saw off the opening from Shopify. Just still continued control. Cycle just being a nuisance here at the tower. Soul Snipe also once again with the power up, and that's been the story of the series.
One thing that's very noticeable at the moment in this game between both teams is the lack of triple caps that we have seen. It's been more about the doubles. It's been more about holding down the map.
Okay.
And kind of just inch by inch trying to collect those points that are required to put yourselves into a winning position here. B going to be flipped now by Shopify Rebellion. B and C will be the hold. As Suppress will find a kill onto Jimbo elsewhere. Soul Snipe in the 1v1. Chick almost managed to turn that one around, but Soul Snipe will be able to secure the kill himself. A only the stronghold to be controlled here by ITB, and they are struggling really to find any presence on the map. You're looking at the slates, it's all Shopify Rebellion.
It really is. Even worth mentioning, moments ago we actually had a triple kill come in for Wutum, but immediately answered back by a double for Cycle, who was one of the first spawners. So it's really moments like that that are defining this game. Even when you feel like ITB is about to pull away with a big opportunity, they find themselves here on the screen once again, 3 dead.
I'm going to keep saying it, right? It's been sniper rifles, it's been camos. All of the pickups on the map have gone the way of Shopify Rebellion, and that makes it so difficult to fight in any kind of even margins. And now Wutum finds himself as last alive again here for ITB Esports. 151 to 50.
Yeah, Shopify is just better, I think.
ITB is the fact that the triple cap hasn't been in effect, because otherwise this game would be done.
Right, and the fact that they're maybe going to get some extra time to think about how they refocus up for the next series, I think is the only other thing that we could celebrate. They're being
They didn't even get B. Oh my god.
They get B by like a pixel. Someone needs to dip their toes into
Oh, they're holding it. This is
It's going to
bad.
be a little bit of a heartbreak and a reset coming in for Shopify Rebellion. That's exactly what will happen. And now, over 100 points to margin between the two teams.
Got to say as well, Mighty's only records his 5th kill there in this game. And like we said, when you don't have one of your
What
big
the
slayers
hell?
putting the numbers on the board, it's not going to be easy to get back into the
Mighty's
game.
is getting shit on right
Triple
now.
cap though, by the way, just as
Only
quickly as
Wutum
we
is
say
getting
that. So
kills.
ITP fans, hold on to your seats. We can see some more points on the board yet. This one's a 100-point difference, but it's not over yet.
Seen some crazy things. Certainly have indeed. Like you mentioned, it's the first time we've really seen a triple cap.
Fresh is
Either
just
side.
so good at
However,
getting
it's going to
kills,
be
bro.
a very, very short amount of time that it was locked in. But off the back of it, ITB at least finding a little bit of momentum here. Starting to find a few kills. However, Jimbo cannot find any way to put his reticle onto a no-shield player below him, and he'll pay with his life.
That's tough
Am I
to
getting
watch.
drops?
We've all been there in those scenarios when you got a player scurrying away just below you. You're trying to get those last bullets down. You can't. 2 dead for
Yeah.
ITB yet again. Make it 3 dead. Jimbo's your last player alive.
6 hours, huh?
A going to be flipped by
Quick
ITB,
wrestling.
but C going to be flipped at the same time by Shopify, which will continue the scoring in their favor. Little moments like that are ones you look back on in a series where it's like, if we get that kill, what happens off the back of it? The killing spree
What
here for
the-
Mental is going to keep his momentum going in this game as well. He's 17
I don't think they have
and
any,
6
like, they just don't have
in this
enough
game, by the way. He's
slays.
gotta just win
Wutum's
about his
just the
business without
only
anyone
one who's
noticing.
doing
And also
something
tied for
right
leading
now.
in assists. Him and Suppress both on 11 assists.
There's just
as
single
well. Just
digits, bro. They're not
unbelievable
even
numbers
for
coming in for Mental.
8, 7,
I mean,
and
you look at
9.
Cycle
What
as
is
well.
that?
He's 18 and 8. Not bad.
ITB
18 and
is,
6
I mean, I
managed to
like
do the dirt here.
ITB, bro.
He's got a
Wild
few
numbers.
more,
But
a few more
Shopify is
positives
just doing
to
their
talk about
thing
when it
right
comes
now.
to the KD. 210 points as we see the triple cap in effect here for Shopify Rebellion, and this is feeling like ITB just running out of steam in this series at the moment. B and C still keep them scoring. They're looking to close this one out here. Shopify, they're flipping A. They're trying to put pressure onto C, but ITB is now or never if you want to see a game 5.
Once again,
Whoa.
just brilliant game management coming in from the side of Shopify throughout the entire
They're
game.
just playing with
Still
confidence
outslaying,
right
by the
now.
way, still by 30 kills. It's an unreasonable margin that shouldn't happen on the main stage.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That's too many. Mental now with a sniper rifle. He hits the body. He's going to be challenged, but you got the feeling with everything that's happening.
What the hell, dude?
Icing on the
Mental
cake.
was never going to lose that.
Icing on the cake, salt in the wound, whatever you want to call it. It's 9 points to
They have
go
2
here for
points right
Shopify
now,
in not just the game, but also the series.
The Mighties
Mental's
is the
gonna flip
one to
ITB
Yeah,
trying to push
double-
him, but this man is just
double
having
digits.
a field day at the moment. It's another one to the collection. 21 and 8 for Mental. Cycle now.
يعني بتتقلي ولنا ده لو ده ما تلاقي ترى نادي سوبر زو كمبيوتر تنام ناس كينا استم تليبي
Plus 3 dead, though there should be some pretty heavy pressure coming in here in moment from Shopify as they'll look to flip. But still, points on the board here for ITB as they might get past the 100-point mark here.
Almost feeling like this is a foregone conclusion in this game, but as we know in Halo Infinite, the game ain't done till it's done. Another trade coming in, and Shopify Rebellion find themselves 3 dead. Suppress is going to be last alive here, and Shopify now find
Oh
themselves...
shit! What? Bro, how does ITB have 3 points right now?
ITB side, Chick's going to win an individual fight as well, and maybe there is a little bit of spark here for ITB.
Should also be a camo here. Wutum will pick
What?
it up presumably first and then pop.
There's
That's
no
exactly
way.
what he
What
does,
the
and he
hell
stays
was that
alive. So
jiggle?
eventually C will flip. However, still power up control. Wutum's
Okay,
going
they
to
have
have to respond to
camo.
teammates here, and they're going to really need to time this team shot perfectly. They do it well with Cycle.
Nice.
That first pick is big.
Yeah, really important decision there made by Wutum as well. You can see he was thinking, do I
So
try
they're
and
pushing
push
it
over
right
C
now.
here? Am I going to have the timing?
No, why did you
Try and beat
trade,
those
man?
But he saw that Jim was at the back of the stronghold on B, tried to help him in that situation,
It's
and they
not
managed to keep
something that
control
you
for a
want
few
right
seconds, but it was only a few seconds. A and B now going to be flipped.
Uh-oh.
Shopify Rebellion now will be scoring, and in the next few moments, if ITB
that's
do
bad.
not step into one of these strongholds, it will be the series going their
That
way.
is bad.
It will indeed be a 3-1 series win, as Shopify Rebellion will close out here on Live Fire Strongholds. And after a shaky looking game number 1, Shopify Rebellion looks strong in the next 3.
Gotta get shit on.
Cycle goes 25 and 10 in the deciding game in the series. And to be honest, on the entire side of Shopify, very, very impressive numbers across the board. Every player with
Shit's
20 or
on.
more kills in the game. Only player reaching that kind of number is Wutum on the other side. Total kills in the end, Shopify Rebellion 89, ITB 57.
Looking across at the stats on the other side, some grim reading, unfortunately, as you would imagine from some of the stats you just highlighted from the Shopify Rebellion side.
There's the other side of the coin.
8 and 23, a rough one. File that under that. We'll leave it at that.
A rough game indeed. Of course, worth mentioning, did lead the team in assists there, so once again was certainly doing the damage, but just not picking up in the kills category the way that you expect him to. And in the end, just very, very strong performance from Shopify, the objective game management, showing that they're not only a Slayer team, that goes without saying, but the stats earlier might have suggested that. They know how to do it in the objective department as well, and they know how to do it with style.
Yeah, one thing that impressed me about actually Shopify Rebellion was the element of control that they hadn't. Take game number 1 out of the equation. Map number 2 felt like it was a great example of the control that they managed to have, and then that game number 4, excuse me, it was just a stranglehold. You know, it was a complete and utter domination of the map, and every single time that you saw an ITB point of view, it felt like they were waiting for teammates to respawn. It was a kind of a tiptoe up the map to see if they could get some damage in, thanks to the damage that was coming in on the other side from Shopify Rebellion. So very, very good signs, I think, for Shopify moving forward.
We're just getting an update. I think everyone's wondering the same thing we're wondering here on the desk, why the players have not taken headsets off, why they have not exchanged handshakes, and it looks like there might have been at the 241
what is up,
mark.
boys?
They claimed from one side of the stage that there might have been a technical issue, so maybe we are going to resume here
What is
at
up,
241, and
boys?
Clutch is looking at me like that seems
I'm looking at
ridiculous.
you as well.
I will say,
Hello?
from a ruling perspective, we won't challenge it. From whoever questioned that on the stage on rhymes with ITC, whoever might have suggested that we should go back and do a replay. It's a bold play, but that's what we're hearing from station
the desk right now.
referees.
If one of you suggests to me that, you know, maybe we should play, I'm like, guys, we just got, I mean, I'm good with giving this game. You know,
They're going to try to make the run. I think it's one
Hey,
thing,
well,
just because
if
we
it
have to
happens-
discuss it. I don't want to
Yeah.
discuss it, but just because we have to, I will say it was a big rally coming in
Optics
late game, too little too
41.
late, what we just thought from the side of ITV. They were down about 180 to 241. They did bring it back 241 to 153. Now, is that justification for a restart from here?
We'll
Hey,
let-
if there's
we'll
a
let
technical
you
issue on the
decide.
stage, there's a technical issue on the stage.
Well, we'll wait to hear exactly what the outcomes of the technical decision are going to be.
And we want them in detail.
I wanna,
Preferably in right.
Hey, what's
I
going
wanna
on? I'm
delivered.
totally fucking oblivious right
But
now.
fair play to Shopify Rebellion. They ain't leaving the stage. To be fair to them, they're probably like, yeah, cool, we'll play a few more.
They're like, no
We'll add
problem.
a few more.
I mean, yeah, it needs to be said. It is one round of slays. Actually, it could just be a 2 dead that ends this game. So we'll have to get final confirmation on if that's exactly what's happening. But I think everyone's spidey senses was kind of tingling and thinking, normally at this time, everyone's shaking hands. I'm in my head thinking of the series layout. I'm like, have I counted these games
That's
wrong?
exactly what I was thinking when you just said that. I was like, wait, is it the end of the series?
And then I counted
I've done
them
that
each
before.
in my head, and then they had still won. So I was like, no, I think I've done okay here. And it turns out in the end, there may have been a technical issue at the 241 mark. And we'll see exactly what the actual score will be when we resume. Of course, keep in mind, due to new
But that
Halo
makes
Infinite
no
settings,
sense.
we
They
can
wanna
resume from
restart the
exact
game?
score point off the restart.
We can. So it's 124 we're hearing in our headsets for ITB.
Okay.
I mean, I will say, if they come back from this,
Like, there's no way they're
Yeah,
winning,
30
right?
seconds.
I was hoping.
I don't have
to
anything
jump
to-
in, honestly.
No, no,
I'm just
I don't
saying,
have
I
anything
don't
to
want to
say
put
on
too
that.
much
That'd
out
be
there, but
insane
if
if
they
they
come
win.
back from this, there will be a game 5 to decide.
I think that's all you really can say.
Yeah.
Okay, 241 to 124. So it will require, no exaggeration, essentially something like 4 minimum rounds of
It
slay
will
hold.
require a big difference in gameplay from ITB from what we saw in the previous, shall we say, Chapter 1.
I will say also
of this
credit to ITB because they did find some composure there in the late game. Let's not forget they were under 100 points for the majority of the game. In the end, we saw them with a pretty strong surge, but it felt a little bit too similar to some of the other games in the series, too little too late. Now, is this going to actually give them an opportunity? I think we're being pretty casual on the stage here for a reason because it's so unlikely, but we'll have to see if they can somehow pull out what would be described as a miracle.
Yeah, it will be a miracle. Another miracle that happened today was you somehow managing to get half of Jim's breakfast.
I did. Man, was that good.
That was good timing for me. We went to a coffee shop this morning, grabbed a coffee. Jim's there. And to be fair, the bagel, it was
Enormous bagel.
fast.
I think that's it's a good moral there. You know what the moral of the story is? Always take the time to say hello, because you might get a free bagel.
It's true. I thought it was just never be around you when there's food on your plate.
That is dangerous, but I will say, fantastic
Hungry or otherwise.
bagel sandwich. I'm thinking about it right now, actually.
I did deny you getting the second half of it, though. I will say.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you did that. Jim offered me the second half of the bagel, and Mark
The
goes, "No, man, you
Xbox
take
party
it."
chat
And
is
I'm like,
so
"Listen, I might have it
trash,
later."
dude.
So I was like,
He didn't want. he's not
Andy,
gonna
you've already
later.
eaten half of his breakfast. You can't take the man's entire breakfast. You could have bought your own bagel.
Didn't cross my mind.
No, I think it would.
Okay,
Man who
as a
lives in
reminder,
scraps.
Shopify just outslayed 89 to 57 in the end of the game. However, still waiting final word on exactly when we'll be able to get into the game, but it does sound like it will be 241 to 124 as the players now wait for this on the stage. But I wonder what Shopify's thinking.
They seem to be pretty good. I will say, I think they're in pretty good spirits because they're probably thinking there's no way we lose this from here. It's a full
No, they're not
team.
going to. I'm thinking that they're getting cut into their bagel time if they wanted to get bagels.
You can't stop thinking about bagels now, can you?
Well, frankly, I can't.
You okay?
I
I'm
will
going to get
be.
this man a bagel.
I will be.
Soul Snipe seems pretty happy. He's probably looking at the stats from the last game.
Assalamualaikum.
I'll read them out to you, everyone.
Hey, Saad.
Mental,
Hello.
21 and 9.
Hello, Lika.
Things were
Hello.
going-
With
things were
13
going-
assists.
Things were going well for
Hello.
him. Suppressed
Hello.
20 and 18.
पहले थे
Not bad.
पहले
Seven
जीते
point
Royal
two.
Missed the
flush
Soul
from
Snipe.
mental.
यो एलवीटी हेलो दे
All three
सिर्फ हेलो
categories
दे सिर्फ हेलो लोगो
हाँ
सिर्फ सिर्फ हेलो
Soul
टेक
Snipe,
टेम पे
22 and 20.
Ah.
Not bad. Cycle 25 and 10.
Positive 15.
He was
सिर्फ
on a
हेलो
2-kill streak.
लिजे तो
Now,
चलो
even at the end of the
गेम
game,
देखे
Yeah. He was
Less
I'm
frying.
feels less
I'm
relevant. I don't know if
streaming
you
right
heard
now
that
to
after the
0
man went
viewers.
25 and 10,
I mean,
and
if
he
you
was
want,
also
all
on
right,
2
let me give you the
kills.
ITB
Chat
stats
is
if you
streaming.
want, if you were-
Game
I
क्या
know.
लगे?
ITB
Kill streak
stats, no.
Watch
Zero
watch
for
party.
all players at the end of that game. So it was a standout statistic.
क्रैश
He was on fire. in
I
those
mean,
final
I don't
games.
even know how the
We should
stream is
mention
running
Muchin,
right now.
though, putting up 22 kills on the board.
No, no,
It's a pretty
अलग
big
अलग
statement there.
level
He's
के ना
really
no
the only
मैं
player
देखूंगा
that was
किस
on
स्क्रीन
that
को
tier.
चिकन स्क्रीन
Chick
तक
was
पे
the closest
चाहिए
at
सब
15.
सलोरान
Jim
सलूर
and
का
Mighty's
साना
at
सी
8 and 12 respectively.
Now my is a
For
live
Muchin to
razum
be
के
there with
संग
22 kills in
कार
that
कहीं
game,
का ना
Giovanni had a lot of, 21 deaths to his name as well, but still to be
ही
kind of
twist
firing the way
के ना
that he
यूज टू
has, I
गेम
think
पूरा
he
और यूज
continues
टू गेम को
used to perform very well.
Well,
This is
have
really-
you ever
I'm not gonna go
went
into
live
that.
on a
I think I
PC?
worked out what the technical issue was.
पूरा ही
I'm not gonna say.
द गेम तो बड़ा
Yeah, I'm
भी
staying far away from this. I'm staying focused on bagels.
Oh, so
Jim
idiot? I'm
kills.
streaming right now.
I'm good.
Let's
I'm not watching a stream. I'm streaming.
The
Lots
game
of series to look
como?
forward to, though, this evening, without a doubt. Gotta say, Spacestation fans in the building are going to be excited to see last match of the evening.
Game como?
SSG will be on the main stage. You know this place is going to be rocking. It's going to be a fantastic way to end number one. But tons of matches before we get to that. A lot to look forward to. As we said earlier, the FaZe versus Pure rematch, which is probably one of the biggest rematches I've been excited about, not just for this event, but in quite some time.
Yeah, it's going to be a fiery series. Like I mentioned, we've got Quadrant versus Optic as well, which historically has given us some crazy outcomes throughout the years.
I am not doing that. I'm streaming as well.
What Quadrant were able to achieve last
Let's
year.
not streaming
Different
well
season
for
them a
what?
little bit, though, you have
The
to say.
Gurun's quality
Losing
Sangar.
to,
I've
of
never
course, ITV
streamed like
Esports and that
before.
crazy game
Madam,
fight that we
cap,
saw
okay, streaming
back in
is
Atlanta.
I'm
I think,
Bijli ne ziya lagam
one
zat
way
vai
for
Raji.
games to get back underway.